Alrighty, well, I'm getting a bit sick of all the fucking typing. I really am. So I'm just going to do a bit by a rant instead. And hope my camera don't fall over. And just in case it does, I'll just cover up that artificial vagina, which doesn't exist. It's not there. You never saw that. You never heard me say that. So, alright. This guy who calls himself just wasted 3 hours of his... It's not all there anymore. Bugger. Scroll. Fucking hell. Just wasted 3 hours here. Okay. So, actually, maybe I will just type to it because I started to. What the fuck? Teach me how to type with bold. So if I do an asterisk, I nearly said asterisk, but it's an asterisk. Don't ask me again. Alright, so yeah, now I have to paste. That's the way it works. And maybe then if I do another asterisk, it hasn't come up bold yet. Nor that. That means yet again. See, I can even create my own language. It's the sort of genius that I am. And it's a warm day. I put a shirt on just to look aesthetically more pleasing to you atheists. Yeah, I just said atheists, but it didn't come out exactly sounding like it, so never mind. So anyway, as to natural law not needing an explanation, why not? Science is a lot smarter than you think. No, it's not. Science is not any form of intelligence whatsoever. It is observation and recording and understanding, but it's not intelligence. It's not smart. It's just making an accurate record of what is observed. That is all. They can't make up shit. Surely you can't believe that all of the world's scientists are indoctrinated into some kind of worldwide conspiracy to hide the truth, right? And scientists for a very long time have pieced together why things act the way they do using experimentation, observation and prediction. Okay, they have. But now, we're in the modern era. We have technology. We have Nikon P900s, I think, or 9000s, as they're called, where people can zoom over long distances. We understand mathematics and trigonometry and curvature and how that all works. We understand all this. And we can see that there is no distinct amount of curvature of 8 inches per mile to be observed anywhere, especially not on standing bodies of water such as oceans. You know, it kind of blew my mind. It was sometime in my teens. I used to go and explore up this big headland down at Hawk's Nest. It's called Yakabar, spelled for J or for Y if you want. Yakabar. It's this beautiful freaking mountain with awesome views all around. And when you go there and you get to the other side, it blows your mind away at just how much ocean you can see, which you shouldn't be able to see on a planet. You know, 8 inches of curvature is actually reasonably significant and reasonably visible especially as it gets squared per mile per mile. So when you go to these places and you can see hundreds of miles, you sit there in awe and you look at it and you go, this doesn't trig with my indoctrination. I was taught we're on a spinning ball planet. It doesn't trig. It doesn't trig. So if something doesn't add up, then it's not real, it's not factual, therefore it can be dismissed. It's non-scientific. You need facts to be scientific. Lack of curvature, that sort of changes the scientific point of view of being on a fucking spinning ball. Simple as that. Simple as that. So whether or not I type this, or I just make this video and put this down instead, as the natural law not needing an explanation, why not? Because what is observed is what is observed. You don't make the observation fit your preconceived notion. Oh, come on. I before E except after C. Thank you, type spell check. You don't make the observation fit your preconceived notion to make your preconceived notion work. You just observe what is. There's your answer. As I sit and type. Okay. Science is a lot smarter than you think. No. Science is not smart. Science is observation and recording. That is all. That is all. It has no intelligence of its own. Wow, this is so good, I'm going to get drunk doing this. You assume too much. Your religion has you mesmerised. I'll spell that with a Z, even though typically in Australia I'd use an S, but if I did, it'd get that red wriggly line underneath it, and I'm not keen on red wriggly lines underneath my words. Your religion has you mesmerised. Okay. It's not as though anyone is hiding any truth. It's simply that most people have been indoctrinated, let's spell it right, with lies and haven't found reason to question it until finally now we are. Yes, I like that. That works for me. I'm just coming up with this as I go, and I'm happy and content. And scientists for a very long time have pieced together why things act the way they do. Experimentation, observation, and prediction. Okay then. So if you're scientists, let's just say scientists, let's just use fucking spell check to correct that one then. So if you're scientists, have been observing reality for so long now, then they would admit to the truth, which is now apparent, and that is the Earth is flat. I know, doesn't it feel weird to say that? Because we've had it indoctrinated us for so many generations to believe we're on a spinning ball. And now that we can see oceans have no curvature, water is level, just saying it even sounds wrong. That's how tough it is to be a flat earther. To have to every day go against this ball of thought that says we exist on a spinning ball which just hangs around in space and chases the sun because it came from a big bang. Big bang. And everything came from the big bang, the big explosion, and all these beautiful ball planets just evolved along with you and me. Yeah, from a big bang. The only big bang was, I think, the one my dad did to me mum. That's the only place I evolved from. Scary thing is, I remember that too. Get out of your dad's balls, alright? Whee! My memory does go back a long way, I have to admit. So, I'm sort of a bit more inclined to be a trustworthy source of truth when you know the shit I know and you have the memories that I have. I won't even go any further into that. I don't have much longer left on this video either, by the way, because I'm even running out of memory on the phone. So let's get to the next question, shall we? Let's just leave that. Every single thing science has ever studied has turned out to be understandable with repeatable and understandable underlying processes. Why should the direction of falling objects be any different? Because you've looked at them, observed them, and recorded them. What else do you require? Maybe I should go back and look at some more of his stuff, because he's put a lot of stuff in here. Maybe I can just talk my way through it now. I'm not even going to type. Are you suggesting that atmosphere always weighs the same in all circumstances? Atmosphere by being less dense, the higher you go will weigh more or less depending on your altitude. If you grabbed a cubic metre of air from 20,000 feet in a container and compared it to a cubic metre of air grabbed from ground level, they will have different weights, precisely because one is more dense than the other. And if you don't believe air has weight, weigh a football's playing up in one of this. Dude, I'm already telling you this shit. I understand density, I've explained it to you. You think height, less dense, it's exactly the same as height in water. More dense, lower down. That's just how it works because there's more of it. I shouldn't have to explain this to you as I explain it to a child. Density is exactly what it is, what it appears, what we've seen, measured, recorded, and can prove. So, All you're doing is you're repeating everything I've already said in your own words, and you're agreeing with me. But water being more dense with many more atmospheres heavy, the deeper you go. Physics? Now you're going to go along with physics? Yes, of course. How the fuck else do you think I come up with everything I believe in if not for physics? You know, I'm not making shit up out of thin blue air. I'm looking at reality, mate. Fucking reality. And saying, yes, physics. Yes, physics. I'm not arguing against physics by saying the earth is flat. You, on the other hand, believing in this spinning ball, going against all the laws of physics, atmospheres in a vacuum and all the rest of that nonsense. That's arguing against physics. I'm the realist here. Now you're going to go along with physics. How convenient that water has more atmospheres because of the weight of the water above it, pushing down from above. If there was no gravity, it wouldn't matter how deep underwater you were. The pressure would be the same at all depths because water, in and of itself, is the same density and therefore the same pressure unless it is being compressed by something above it, like more water. There you go. You answered your own question. It's being pressed from above by more water. Fuck. That's density. Then you say this one is, so you copied me again. That does not require a magical gravitational pull to counteract the spin of moving 1,000 miles an hour because there is no spin. Then you say, Foucault pendulum proves otherwise, or shows otherwise. No, it doesn't. You can make a pendulum, and if you just adjusted it either way by your own pull or the way you pushed it or however it came out of your hands, it will change. It proves nothing. It does not prove a spinning ball earth. It's a pendulum. It's not a fantasy if it is. Proven by observation, durable outside our planet. You haven't been outside the planet, mate. You haven't. You're looking at cartoons and CGI bullshit. No one's been outside the planet. They haven't. If you can show real and actual evidence of being outside of the enclosed firmament that we are kept within, then by all means show it, but don't show me bullshit. Moons around other planets we can see. See again, you're just seeing specks spinning around distant. Yeah, I don't want to go right into astronomy, not with this rant. It's a rant, say, for another time, and certainly not my specialty, but I certainly understand astronomy fully and deeply. And I know where you're coming from, but I personally have never seen another planet. I've never been to another planet. I don't know anybody who's ever been to another planet. And speculating that there are moons going around other planets is all well and good. But the actual proof of it, again, it's very speculative, and I think it's just a big made up fabrication to try and fulfill our need to believe in this heliocentric model about spinning around the sun. That's all. The other planets, they're solar luminescent bodies in heavenly space, in the firmament, above the dome, in the block of ice. We don't really know for sure because we can't go any further. We've never been any further. And just looking at little things through a one-eyed friggin' lens. You know, it's good to believe in fantasies, you know. I love fantasies, I love all the ancient myths, but that's all the stars are. They're a myth. And moons going around them as though they're planets? Come on. Seriously? Okay, so you have that lovely belief. Even though the air is getting more dense, the high altitude parachutist has more density, and it's the natural law of things with higher density to accelerate until they reach a place of higher density. I should have said less density. Or use a parachute to hold their fall. So that was me. And he goes, no, to accelerate until they reach a place of higher density. Thank you for proving my statement. If the parachutist has more density, and I agree with this, his density is still in comparison to the air he's in, right? Why should he go faster through air that is more dense? That is the opposite of what should happen if the density explanation is true as a replacement for gravity. Does a bowling ball fall faster through air or water? Remember that water is about 800 times more dense than air. So that parachutist should go through the more dense air slower, not faster, and for the same reason that the bowling ball should fall much slower through water than air. No, it's just falling. It's just falling. The parachutist is more dense, therefore is falling through the air. And the observable science of falling means you gain acceleration as you continue falling until you hit the more dense ground or water. Or you pop open your parachute to slow down your rate of fall by using air resistance. It's just observable logic, mate. Okay. Except I offer you examples and you offer what exactly? Oh, no, assertions that it is so. Well, yeah, that's what science is. Observing what is so. That is what it is. Wait a second. If the actions of objects in the absence of density is the same as the actions with density, then what is the point of it? An object falls according to the density explanation because of the difference in density of the object and the density of the surrounding air fluid. You've ruined your own theory. No, I haven't. I've explained my own theory. And you've agreed with it all the way, except in one instance I actually wrote higher density when I should have said lesser density. Air is lesser density. That's why we fall through it. That's why objects of weight fall through it until they reach something of greater weight and it stops the fall. You don't have to invent a term of gravity to explain that natural observation. It's just the fact of life and how physical reality works. Gravity, on the other hand, is what you need to invent to make the spinning ball Earth work that's spinning faster than sound, 1,040 miles an hour at the equator, but things aren't getting flung off it because of gravity. That's the only reason gravity exists, to try and explain why things aren't getting flung off, because everything else we know and observe about physics says if you spin something around really fast, the things on the outside get flung off. Then you have to invent bullshit gravity to explain how it works on a planet-sized object. Because nobody's ever going to be able to prove one way or the next, are they? They can't go to another planet because, again, that's just a fantasy. And please explain, I ask once more, how moons of other planets that we can see through our own telescopes with our own eyes can orbit their planets without gravity. Is it long ropes, magnets? Well, it would have to be if there were such a thing. But it's not. I've got 1 minute left and maybe a few more seconds. If the rate of an object's fall through the medium is based on the density and density of the medium, when an object falling in a vacuum with no density should fall instantaneously to the ground because the medium has a density of 0. But this doesn't happen. Instead, objects fall according to 9.8 meters per second rule, just as science says it should. Now there you go, that's your problem. Science doesn't say it should, it observes that it does. That's it. It observes that it does. This is what it does. This is what we see. Therefore, that's what it does. It doesn't say it should, but we know it should because we've observed it and measured it. But it doesn't mean that it only does it because science says so. You fucking idiot. Okay, well, let's end this rant. I have to save and record this one straight to YouTube because I'm out of memory. And I got none left on the laptop. And I love you. Especially if your name is Dyer. Otherwise, you're not my kind. See ya.